What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of StreamKey. We got episode 159. I hope you guys are having a great day. We have an amazing guest. We got DoggGaming here. What's going on, dude?
How you doing? Good to be here. Glad to be back.
Hell yeah, it's good to have you, man. Good to have you. Hell yeah. And then we got Sadomi. What's going on, dude?
What's up, everybody? Hope you're having a wonderful morning.
Hell yeah, man. And I think you had something to say to everybody today.
Yes, at the end of the show, I'll have a nice special announcement that I would like for all to stay tuned for. It's very big. And I'll see
there it is, yeah. Hell yeah. And so, yeah, we're just going to get into it today. We stopped talking about like Twitch news or Twitch drama and stuff like that because it honestly sucks to talk about. It's a huge mood decreaser. So we're just going to give you guys tips that you can work on for your streams. And if you guys have any questions for us, please make sure to ask us. The show's only an hour now instead of 2. But yeah, so let's get to it. So for the this is leaving off from like the list that I had set for last week. We got maybe halfway through it, so we still got quite a few things. These are just things that you can work on to like kind of improve your stream and just your overall like community on Twitch and everything. So the first one we have is have a set list of rules for your channel or community and don't fall off of those. No matter who breaks them, hold that person accountable. Also, just because someone has been there for a while doesn't mean they get to cross the line. If someone isn't meshing well or if they are being toxic, let them know. I'm sure everybody here has had someone in their community that is that, you know, like maybe they've been there for a while, then they just start to get really toxic, but you don't want to lose them as a viewer or as a friend. And so you try to like maybe let some things slide, but it really doesn't do you any good at all. You really got to learn to hold the line of like your boundaries for what you want your community to be like and what you want your channel to be like. DoggGaming, I'm sure you've had something like this happen before.
Yeah. But actually, had to deal with something recently. I won't go into the details. I'm not going to go into specifics. But a situation, it was actually in my Discord, which is another thing about to add about your rules. You know, for your channel, they should extend to the other places that your community is that you curate for your other you know, so that's all your other social media and your Discord and any other. Perhaps you've got a Reddit for your community, that kind of thing. You have to have the same rules across the board. But you know, I think the hardest thing here, and you know, and it's a wrench. Even you know, as I say, sometimes you're going to get into a situation where it is someone you like. You know, it's someone that you get on with, that you're quite friendly with, but you can't allow your personal feelings to enter into dealing with the rules for your community, for your channel, because the wider community will lose respect for you and for your channel, and you will lose people from your community if you don't have a rigid attitude to following your rules. You know, people will think it's one rule for them, another for us. That creates the idea that your channel or your community is a clique, which is the last thing you're trying to do. You want people to feel welcome coming in for the first time, the 50th time, after they've not been for a while. Everybody should always feel that they're welcome and that they're the same as everyone else. You know, so. If you set rules and you don't apply them, or you choose to apply them to some people and not other people, it's only going to hurt you in the long run. And I would say this as well. You shouldn't be looking, if you set a set of rules for your channel, that means those are things that you believe in and that you want to, you know, put out into the world. And if you will let people away with breaking those things based purely on friendship or something, then you're disrespecting yourself as well. Because these are standards that you want to uphold for yourself, but you'll let other people through because for whatever reason. So yeah, I can, you know, rules are rules, and unfortunately, sometimes, as I say, a few weeks ago, I had to expel someone from my Discord because of the behavior, and I really didn't want to do it. I really didn't want to do it at all. But that's part of the responsibility of being ahead of a community.
Yeah, absolutely. Sadomi, what do you got on this one, man?
When it comes to rules, you always want to make sure you understand where those rules are coming from and how they're worded, because majority of people are not going to break a rule intentionally. you'll get a few people who will break rules intentionally, and those people just ban them outright because you know when they're just people you just don't want around. Then you get the weird middle ground. You get the people who like to push the line and see what the line is. Mm-hmm. Those people will take your rules and be like, well, you didn't mention I couldn't say the other racist slur. And then at that point, you want to be stiff with your rules, but you have to protect yourself. So don't make your rules too rigid, but keep them open to, I'll say, I should put this, administrative interpretation.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. I completely agree. And also look at other places that you go to. Have a look at the rules as well. You know, if you're in several Discord channels, especially for bigger streamers, look at the rules. There's nothing stopping you copy and pasting them as your rules in your own. You know, mm-hmm. because you know if you look at them, you agree with them, and they look well worded and such. You know, you can save yourself a little bit of work there for a start. But also, you know that they're trusted by people that do have big communities as well, which is it's a security thing as well for you. But I agree, yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah, absolutely. Sadomi, I think your mic is picking up your computer fan a little bit. Just a heads up. Got you. Yeah. But yeah, I actually had to ban somebody last week. They had been around for a few days, nothing crazy. So it's not like it was a difficult one to do, but the person had been there for a few days. They were pretty cool, especially on the first day. They were really cool on the first day. Second day, they started kind of showing some trolliness or whatever, but I figured, we talk a lot of shit in my community. So I figured it was just that. And then the third day, this person continued to start towing the line of what they could get away with. And so when that happened, I banned them immediately, because if you're the kind of person to just see what you can get away with, that's not the kind of person that I need in my community. It might work in yours, that's totally fine. But for me, it's just if someone's just trying to be toxic just for the sake of being toxic and there's no actual humor or reason behind it, then I don't really need them there. That's just that's negativity that I don't need in my own head. So why would I let them force me to read what they're saying? You know what I mean? Yeah. Just don't need it. And they messaged me a bunch of times and they're like, how can I get unbanned? I'm like, you have to prove to me that you learned your lesson. You won't do it anymore. They're like, how can I do that? That's not my thing. I don't know. That's you got to figure that out. And they were like, okay, well, how long? I'm like, that's up to you, my guy. I'm not budging on it or anything. Once you're gone, you're gone. I don't know, man. I don't need it. I definitely don't.
Another thing is that your community will respect you for as well. Your wider community will respect you more for applying the rules. You know,
absolutely.
They will appreciate it. They want to be in a safe, curated space. They want to be in a place where they're comfortable and free from trolling or whatever. Any kind of.
Yeah, if they like being there, they will appreciate you enforcing your rules to keep their community a positive place, because it is their community. It's not just yours. Sadomi, what were you saying?
I was saying, if I ban someone, you're not coming back. There's how many people in the world? You're not worth it. You're not that important.
It's probably true. As rude and shitty as that can be interpreted, it's absolutely true. If you fuck up one time, I've known you for 3 days or whatever, but really I've known you for just how many sentences you said in my chat. You know what I mean? So there's no hard feelings from me at all. I slept really, really well that night. I'm not gonna lie, dude. Probably the best sleep I've ever gotten.
I agree with Sadomi. At the end of the day, we've all got only so many breaths. We don't want to waste them on people. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So I waste them on their own people. So
you come into my chat and the first 3 things you say are the dumbest thing. Especially if, by the way, this is actually kind of weird. I've noticed if you don't have any icon too on your Twitch name, because that kind of shows you have investment in your account a little bit, so you kind of act a little better. But if you're just coming in blank name, all lowercase, just say something wild, I'm just ban. I don't even.
Yep. Not worth it. It's not worth it at all. I don't even need to have a conversation with you. Just get out. Thank you.
I mean, what do you think of the ban appeals thing? I honestly think that's more for bigger streamers, for where confusion happens, mistaken bans. I think that's for a channel for channels our size. People that get banned, we know why they get banned. We know firsthand why they get banned. We know the incident. We know what was said. So personally, I'm of the same idea. You know, in order to get banned from my channel, you've had to cross a line that I'm like, well, I'm really not interested in, and you know, there's no coming back from. So personally, for me, ban appeals are, yeah, I ain't touching them.
Right. It's not something I'm going to be messing with at all. What about you, Sadomi? Anything?
No, I mean,
okay.
like, if you listen, if you come on my stream and I ban you in the first like 5 minutes, no, and like no, the fuck? Your ban appeal already happened. That's what I said.
Denied.
That's fair. That's fair. So no ban appeals for Sadomi. If you go there, just behave because you get one chance. All right. So the next topic we have is talk. There's so many streamers that have no viewers and don't talk because of it. If you're not talking, then chat probably won't either. So it's a really easy way to stand out when you immediately start streaming because you're competing with people who also don't know what they're doing. So if you just talk and like if you literally just talk, that sets you so much higher than people that are just sitting there playing Fortnite or whatever it is, and that's what they're doing. They're just sitting there playing and they have a camera on. It's not even really a stream. It's more like you want to watch this gameplay and just watch me not react to any of it or say anything. It's not a great experience. So if you just talk, like it helps so much. So much. I know you guys have seen streamers that just don't talk at all. So Domi, what do you think, man?
The first thing I tell people, it's like, oh no, I was just trying to like form this in as
my bad,
vulgar and like direct way. But when you're streaming, like 9 times out of 10, if you're doing it for funsies, okay, whatever. Like literally do whatever you want. It's your stream. Like I don't care. Have fun. If you're trying to like get viewers or you know get bigger, make Twitch a career or anything, you should, I don't know, like watch your own stream once in a while and just kind of look at it, because once you watch it, you'll be like, why is my frame rate so bad? Why am I streaming at 160p?
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't talk during your streams too, I don't know how you actually got into streaming at that point. I think most people get into streaming have seen other streamers, and those streamers generally are more about the content creator themselves, not necessarily about the game. Like if you want gameplay, again, you can go on YouTube and watch a Let's Play. You can, that's up in 10 seconds after the game releases. Not even like a week before nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
So you miss out there. Yeah, just talk during your streams, learn how to communicate during a stream, and learn how to be a camera person. I mean, it takes practice. Like you're gonna suck at it at first.
Yep.
But just keep at it, practice, and just go for it.
Absolutely, man. DoggGaming.
Well, I was at Sadomi just touched on the point that I was going to make. It's a skill. Being able to game and talk to chat is a skill. You have to work on it like any skill. Of course, some people are going to be more find it easier to do than other people. But it really is. It's something that if you are looking to be a gamer that's a streamer, you look. Unless you are a pro player, unless you are the next whoever, Shroud, whoever, you are not going to be the kind of and that goes for any game, League of Legends, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Unless you're top tier, you're not just going to get viewers just by playing your game. It's not going to happen, right? Because if people are looking for gameplay, they're going to the best people for gameplay, and that's it. You know what I mean? So you have to be able to, if you're not that level of player and you want to grow as a gaming streamer, you have to be able to do something other than just play your game. And talking to people is absolutely what it's at. Now, when people come into my stream and they ask for tips and they ask for these kind of things, the person I always actually use is yourself, Fairly. I remember you telling me that you started narrating everything that you were doing around the house. I'm making a cup of coffee, I'm putting the coffee in, the sugar, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, to make it to practice this skill, this skill of a constant narrative and speech happening while you're doing other things that you're not thinking of, because it takes that kind of it takes that kind of attitude to improve that your skills like that. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, talk to people. People, look, if you're a small streamer, one of the biggest reasons people are tuning into your channel is they want to talk, right? Like one of the things we should look at, and it's even bigger in COVID time. There's a lot of lonely people out there. You know, there's a lot of lonely people out there that are looking for friends. They're looking for acquaintances and friends and folk that they know they can hang out with. You know what I mean? And that's where you're feeling when you're a new streamer, you're looking to grow. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. That's how you build your community, and hopefully you build it, and it begins to have that bigger effect, you know, that knock-on effect down the line where everybody in your community is doing the same thing, you know. So ultimately, you know, not talking on your stream, you're literally cutting yourself off at the knees. Like,
absolutely,
that's your market. Like,
yeah. Well, I was thinking, like, streaming is basically, it's not so much as like showing off your gameplay. It's more about showing off your charisma as a streamer, at least to me. You know what I mean? Because like I try to be good at the games, but I don't want that to necessarily be the focus of my stream. Like, you know what I mean? I'm the streamer. I need to be entertaining. So like that's something that I need to remind myself. It's less about my Call of Duty gameplay and more about how I react to it or how I communicate with chat. Another thing, when I was reading this, I had this idea. I read there's so many streamers that have no viewers and don't talk because of it. So a lot of people think that they're not talking because of viewers, but they don't have viewers because they're not talking. You know what I mean? It's like thinking that like you're eating because you're fat, but you're fat because you're like it's the other way around. You're fat because you're not eating. You have no viewers because you're not talking. You know what I mean? You're literally causing that. There's so many viewers that are trying to look for the high interaction streams, which means the lower view count. And the lowest view count possible is the highest interaction. So if you talk, then that will instantly welcome them into your chat because you seem like the kind of person that wants to talk to people.
Yep. And then they're going to go and tell their mate, "Oh, I was sitting talking to this streamer last night. They're really nice. They play this game, fun. Come and talk."
Yeah, absolutely. I saw something from Big Gun. It's harder for a console streamer when I have to have my phone open for chat and I'm in the middle of the game, but I still just talk to myself like I'm a crazy person. Let me go get something for you real quick. If you guys want to keep talking about this, or maybe talk to Big Gun about this, I got something that like will help you out. I'll be right back.
Well, what I would say about that is you're doing the right thing. If you acknowledge the fact that you can't see chat, but you're acknowledging them that they're there, and you're still talking about, for example, what you're doing in the game. Maybe you're playing COD, whatever you're doing, and you're explaining, "I'm trying this," or "That was close. Did you see that?" That kind of interaction is, it's still, chat will still feed off that as long as you can acknowledge them and acknowledge the fact that I can't see chat this very second, but I know you're there and I'm getting to you. You know, I will get to you. So that's a big thing that I would say to lean on.
Yeah, absolutely. And so what I was going to show you is like this thing that holds your phone. I have this like for just a bunch of shit. You just like put it on any table at all and it holds your phone. You can move it around. It's nothing crazy, but like that's literally going to solve your problem because you can have your phone just up there right next to you and you can look at chat that way if you want to. Like there's ways around these things. You just have to get creative about it, man. You just have to.
You can get clamp on Amazon for like $10. Also, like a ring light clamp too. So if you stream from your phone, you can just have that ring light clamp, put your phone on, get the ring light, and you're like right there. You're good, and it takes great video. Like it makes your videos look so much better because you actually have decent lighting inside of them.
Yeah, there's ways around everything, especially now. Like if you can't find a way around your own struggles with streaming, I feel like you're just not looking because 4 years ago when I started, or almost 5 years ago when I started, there literally wasn't that much at all. And I knew that because I literally looked up like everything that I could because it was so hard to find any new information. But people are trying to help out. People want to help out other people, just like this podcast. These podcasts weren't a thing when we all started streaming. There's just so many resources out there right now and so many things that you can do to like work around your own issues. Yeah, you just got to get creative, man.
Yeah, and also think if you learn how to solve issues on your own, you start activating a part of your brain where you start thinking about, oh wait, I could just do this. And you really want to do something when it's not a problem of like, I can't do something. It's how can I do something?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you're really passionate about it, you'll get creative, like with figuring out how to get it done. 100%. Another thing is put some enthusiasm in your voice. We talk about this all the time. It's so important. Like we talk about this almost every episode, but I figured since we were talking about just talking on stream, like, put enthusiasm in your voice. Like, don't talk so monotone. Pause, don't pause, whatever. Like, just talk and don't sound boring. You don't want to be that boring teacher that gives a lecture that nobody wants to pay attention to because it's dreadful to hear. Yeah. If you guys have anything on this, I know we literally talk about this every week, but it's just so important. And
like, also remember too, like most people are playing video games. Like that's easier than teaching math.
Yeah.
Like you can make math like fun by being like, hey, this is how you make more money. But like when it comes to like video games, it seems like it will be easier just to put a little more, little more like, excitement. Also, don't be afraid to use your hands. As y'all know, I use my hands all the time. Right now I'm spinning a pencil because I like spinning shit, okay? So
yeah.
Just be emotive. It takes practice. Like you're gonna look awkward as heck at first, and maybe you're not an emotive person. Maybe your hands are busy. Maybe your face is like too, stiff. Maybe you're a stone face like this. This is the only way you like look. But like, do some eye exercises. Open your eyes. Flare your nostrils.
Yeah, stretch your face out.
Yeah, like legit. Like smile a lot. Make your face looser, and you can do wacky things like this and this and this. But I'm so sorry for the audio listeners. I'm making more faces. And
I didn't even think of that.
Just imagine you're watching a clown orgasm. That's pretty much what my face is.
Oh my god. But yeah, it is important. Like you're gonna feel stupid when you do it, and if you see yourself doing it, you're gonna look stupid. Or if your significant other sees you do it, they're gonna judge you 100%. But it really does help to stretch your own face out. It's just like when you go for a workout. Like you probably stretch first. You should, at least. I used to not, but I didn't understand. You definitely should stretch before you do anything, like especially your face. It'll really help those facial expressions kind of like show up more.
Like if you're worried about if people are worried about looking stupid, then they should rethink streaming because right, look, that's what we are. like every single mistake will be clipped. It will be scrutinized by a community. It will be memed on. It will find its way in your Discord over and over again.
My best are me cracking an egg on my face and pissing myself on stream. Drawing away.
So like, get used to it. Embrace it. It's very freeing. Feeling like being the butt of the joke, feeling a bit stupid, doing something stupid. It's a very freeing thing when you just think, "Hey, so what?" Like,
right.
Like people find this funny, they're enjoying it, and that's fine. About the enthusiasm thing, yeah. I realize that some people may be nervous and it causes them to maybe freeze up and be a little restrained. You have to try and put yourself in a different mind space. You have to I mean, one of the things that I always thought at the beginning was I'm talking to people on stream, but I'm in my room. This is my room. Like, I'm comfortable here. This is my space. Do you know what I mean? And like, if you do find that it's nerves or something that's making you feel less enthusiastic, maybe clammed up with talking and stuff like that, try to focus on things that will relax you in a way of making you feel comfortable. Because that'll also help. And if you are, listen. See if you're anxious, talk about how you're anxious. I'm really anxious. I'm really struggling. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, because if somebody's in chat, they'll be like, "Hey, don't worry. Like, you're doing well. Let's talk about this." And before you know it, you'll be in a conversation about something, and you won't be thinking about it. So, like, that's the thing about streaming, right? Anything that happens is content depending on how you treat it, right? Something, anything, as long as you have the right attitude. And I hope it doesn't. My Lincoln could fall over just now. If I have the right attitude, it's funny. Do you know what I mean? If I don't, it's not. Right? Do you know what I mean? Like, literally. So it's, if you approach it with the right attitude, anything that's happening on your stream, anything that you're doing can be entertaining and you know, make people want to continue watching.
Yeah, absolutely. Chad, don't forget, if you have any questions for us, make sure to tag myself, Velokk_TV, and also TRUgaming if you could. That would be awesome. Yeah, super important. Do you guys have anything else on this one at all? All good? Okay. So another thing is just put your own little flavor on your stream, show off your personality. It's good to start off, like I started off with kind of basing my thing around Tim the Tatman because it was a style of stream that I really resonated with. He was just, at least, like, he's changed a lot recently, but at the time he was just a guy playing some CS:GO, wasn't like crazy good at anything, didn't claim to be, and it was just he was just a chill and funny dude. And so I kind of like based my stream around that a little bit, and then you start branching out and pushing things, and you know, just talking like how you would normally talk more often, and start showing off like who you really are, show off your sense of humor if you have one, you know what I mean? Like just put your personality out there into your stream, because that's the one thing that's going to make it really, really different from other people's. You know, when it comes down to, you've already started talking, you've already like gotten good at, you know, saying interesting things at least, and not just like, you've gotten better at talking. Basically, you're not just doing it from the beginning and not understanding like how to make it interesting yet. But when you start getting those things down, like it really does help to put your own flavor on your stream and show off your personality. DoggGaming, what do you got on this one, man?
Yeah, I think what you were saying as well, it can be hard at first to understand, you know, not for everyone, of course. Some people know exactly, you know, this is what my stream's going to be like, there's going to be, and that's great. But I think for a lot of people it can be a bit maybe daunting at first to find what your personality, your stream personality is. Do you know what I mean? And so what I would say is don't be scared, you know, to not, or don't be worried at first that you don't have a very clear, this is the, you know, the stream personality. That can grow over time, you know, like as you relax on stream, as you know, your community grows and you understand a bit more about yourself when you're streaming and stuff as well. But it is important to eventually find it, and as you say, things like the sense of humor and stuff like that, that's very important. You know, that's one of the ways that we connect as human beings, is through our sense of humors. You know, like you know, you meet a stranger, and you know, if your conversation results in the two of you having a laugh, you'll go away thinking that that's a good, you know, a fun person, a nice person. You know, hang out with them again. You know, so sense of humor is a big thing. So don't be scared to bring your sense of humor. Of course, within TOS terms, you know, there's nothing wrong with a bit of out there humor, but you know, make sure that it's not going to get you in trouble and not going to get you the kind of reputation that will attract the wrong type of people to your channel as well, because that's not something you want either. But yeah, find those ways of putting your personality on. As I say, for some people it's easier, you know, like musicians, artists, you know, those kind of people, you know, they'll find it a lot easier to put their own stamp on their stream. But for example, I know a streamer, fantastic guy, a lot of fun, and his whole thing is that he's really bad at games. You know, come and watch me be really, really bad at games. It's kind of funny, like how bad I am at these games, you know, like, and it's great. That's his thing, and it works, and it's, do you know what I mean? And so he's got a really good vibe in his channel and everything. So yeah, it doesn't always have to be, hi, I am fantastic at this game, I own at this, I'm really knowledgeable about this. It can just be like, you know, I'm pretty average at this, but I have fun. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, absolutely. Sadomi, what do you got on this one, man?
Yeah, personality. Not everyone has it naturally. Some people just jump born. Like, if you are one of those people, accept it, rock with it. Like, I'm more outlandish. That's because I kind of have to be. If you saw the inside of my brain, you'd be like, so that's what the Shadow Realm looks like. Oh. So yeah, it is just, you know, don't overplay yourself. Don't do something you wouldn't normally do. Like, don't be something else completely, unless that's what you're marketing for. In which case, you know, yeah, put on a show, because putting on a show, people forget putting on a show. But remember, you have to keep that up for the average stream length, because most of the people listen to this podcast will be streaming for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 25 hours a day.
A lot of hours. All the hours.
So be as authentic to yourself as you can, but remember, you're still on camera. You don't want to get a clip in 5 years showing up where you talked about certain kinds of people in a negative way, and then next thing you know, you lose your job, and then you get arrested for shooting a gun off in your own house, and then, you know, you just upset at everything in the world. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy or that girl. Okay.
That person.
Yes.
There we go. But yeah, I honestly, I didn't really have much of a personality when I started. I was a huge introvert, and it wasn't until like maybe 2 years or so into streaming that I started figuring out like the kind of like person that I am, because I started actually like talking to people like on stream and not on stream. I just started trying to be more social, and it was kind of a fun experiment, and it was really fun to start like pushing myself to be an extrovert, and I really appreciate that effort that I put into it. I'm not gonna lie, because being an introvert really, really sucks. It was not fun for me. But yeah, so I think it was My Nirvana Forever say that they don't have enough of a personality to stream. Just do it, and keep pushing yourself to figure out your personality and who you are. It's a lot of fun, and it's really, really satisfying, especially if you do it just to see like who you want to be, basically, and not necessarily for the viewers. If you do something for the wrong reasons, it can lead to a lot of bad stuff. But yeah, just figure out who you are. It's fun.
I know, Vanna, and that's false. She has enough personality to stream. Absolutely. Okay. You absolutely do. Okay. Trust me.
And that's another thing too, is like you're kind of your worst critic. So you're going to be overly critical of yourself, and you're going to talk yourself out of doing things that you actually want to do. Everybody talks themselves out of something that they want to do. And you just gotta, get through your own weird mental barriers on things, which is tough, but it's worth it. We have a question from Uncle Patches. Do you recommend having a YouTube or other platform in order to bring in more viewers? 100%. 100%. I don't know which platform to tell you, because that's kind of dependent on what your content is and what you're trying to do for your extra content. Because I doubt that you necessarily want to make it the exact same thing as what your stream is, because you're trying to create something else for other people to come in. But just toy around with something, like have an idea, write some stuff down. I highly recommend writing things down. I just started doing it recently, and it's been really, really nice. Yeah, toy around with things, see what other people are doing, get some influences from other people, and kind of build off of that if you can, or do something totally different and unique, and see how that goes. Sadomi?
The first thing I'd say is have a presence before you make content, like anywhere. So I went to your Twitch page, and I'm not sure if you just start your account or anything, but I went there, I didn't see anything much at all. There's nothing there. So first thing I'd say is always like have a presence. And also, anyone here, if you listen to this podcast and you haven't like made anything or like streamed anything yet, like go do that first. First and foremost. When making any kind of content, you have to first figure out who's going to watch it. Because and don't, I swear, if any of you make content like, oh, just whoever likes it watches it, I'm like, that's the no. Do you think Coke went in? Sorry, actually, what's the better thing? Do you think a diaper brand went in like, yo, whoever wants diapers gets to buy our diapers? No.
Right.
No. There's a reason they have really beautiful babies on like the front covers of their boxes. Okay. There's a reason why they buy whole aisles. Trust me, I worked in retail. They will buy entire sections of aisles in stores for obscene amounts of money. Just like placement, like the first in the aisle. Okay? They have commercials that cost, I don't want to talk about how much, for 30 seconds. Because they are important. It's important to figure out who wants to watch what you make, who wants to spend their resources to consume what you are producing. Okay? You have to make them want it. You have to appeal to them. And the first way you do that is by 1, making something. 2, like making a fake person. Look up I forgot the exact term for it, but it's like a brand profile. You essentially go through, you make a brand persona. You go through and you write down, okay, who's watching my content? You give them a name too. You know what? Dave. Dave is a big Call of Duty fan. Okay. He works at some retail job. He doesn't buy a lot of games, but he always buys Call of Duty, Madden, 2K, all the sports games. Okay. Dave's a dude, bro. Dave's got brown hair. Dave lives somewhere in the Midwest. Okay, that's Dave. Dave watches. What can we make for Dave? That Dave will be like, yo, this is dope. I love this. I'm gonna watch this forever. And you always hit that. You pound it. I'm punching my hand. You pound it in the ground. You keep doing that each time. And then over time, you change the profile because people change, needs change, and the world changes. Guess what? There's not many people looking up like MySpace guides anymore.
That's true.
And the other thing is, the change happens. You're told what the change is. Your community tells you what the change is, or your audience tells you what it is. As it's at first you do the targeting, and then they will let you know what they like. And that's how you keep moving your brand on. I totally agree. One of the things I would say is looking at Sadomi mentioned this, and looking at what platform suits what content that you're producing. There are certain types of content that work better on certain platforms. Whether it's Instagram, whether it's TikTok, whether it's YouTube. So you have to identify what kind of content you want to make, and then identify what platform that is going to, right? And the other thing you have to do is on those, just like on Twitch, you have to be involved in the communities on those platforms for that are also making the content that you are making. You have to be involved in that, because that's your starting ground. That's your base camp. That's what you need to be involved in that. They need to know who you are. You need to get a name and a reputation there. And that's done not only through your content, but primarily through interacting with those people. It's going to be sometimes on their content. It's going to be through DMs, whatever it is, Twitter, however it is, But be involved in the sphere of content that you want to make for. That it's pointless. It's pointless you making Call of Duty content if you're only talking to Minecrafters on YouTube, right? And part of the Minecraft community. Because there might be some of those Minecrafters that like Call of Duty, but that's not really what they're on. What their thing is it? Identify the community and become part of it, right? Properly, not for an idea, not to use it for your benefit, to be part of it, to grow it, to help grow it, and to help represent it. Become that. And that's how you will grow on Twitch as well, but on other platforms.
Sorry, I'm just writing some stuff down that you said, so my bad.
That's fine. And also to bank off that too, when it comes to learning what to do next, always remember, don't listen to what people say, act on what they do.
Yes.
Because guess what? If I have 10 people in my chat saying, hey, you should play Doki Doki Literature Club, and then I play Doki Doki Literature Club, and my CCU concurrent CCV concurrent reviewers goes down by 50%, and none of the people in chat are there who said that, what does that tell me? That tells me that I need to, my audience isn't really craving that. That's not what they want. Okay. If I notice I put out a video and I have 1,000 comments saying, we hate this, this is horrible, this is garbage, that's my most viewed video, and I do something that people say they want, and it's negligible, and taking out all the factors of search algorithm and time to discovery and all that, accounting for that, and that's still absolute bottom, then that tells me more information than what people are verbally telling me. Because I hate saying this as blunt as I'm about to say it, but no one knows what they want. No one, even me. No. I have a list of my goals on the wall over there in front of me, and I know for a fact none of those are gonna make me happy, but I still want them.
Fair. That's definitely fair. All right, who was that? Uncle Patches. I hope we answered your question for you, man. Thank you so much for asking. If you have any further questions on that, please let us know. We got another question to get to before we end the show here in a little bit. Benjamin Green says, for those of us who have been streaming for years now, what keeps you motivated? How has that changed versus when you / we started? So I don't know. Like a lot of the motivation at the beginning, I think, was just to get better at streaming, and I still want to get better. I don't think that I'm necessarily like good or good enough or anything. I think that everybody could always learn no matter what, but I do think I have a lot of room to grow still, and so like that's still a motivation to keep doing it. Is I want to better myself as a streamer and as an entertainer, and that actually has worked out a lot because it's helped build up my confidence in myself. Um, to be in front of a camera and to talk in front of people, I think I can do a lot more things now than I could have, 4 or 5 years ago. Like I want to try stand up now, which is something that I've been too scared to really even like say to anybody or even think about, because just the thought of failing in front of people is so like crazy to me. But it's really helped, and I actually do want to give it a shot. Not that I'd be good or anything, but a lot of the motivation now is because I want to better myself as like a person, and I want to like pursue other things, not just streaming. And streaming will be kind of like my channel will be kind of like the hub for my community when I'm actually live versus the content that I'm trying to make outside of it. So streaming is still an amazing thing that I want to continue to do, but most of the motivation behind it right now is just progressing myself, I guess. You know what I mean? So Domi, how about you, man? Well, actually, hold on. Let me do this a different way, because this is going to be different for you. We'll get DoggGaming's answer first, and then for you, we'll switch it up to what keeps you motivated, not necessarily just to stream, but like what's exciting about like pursuing new things, or just give us a little bit about like your mindset. You know what I mean? But DoggGaming, yeah, right. But yeah, so DoggGaming, what do you got on this one, man?
Well, I mean, personally, as for me, what the reasons that I started streaming was largely because of my mental health. I'm always very open about that. I was in a very, very dark place, and when I started streaming, and I started streaming to open up my world, because of how shut down I'd become. Streaming has been a huge journey for me of self-discovery and self-improvement. And I have been using it for a while now to challenge myself in ways that will help and have helped my mental health and my mental health progress. So for me, and I realize this might not be anywhere near what other for the same as other people, but for me, it's more about growing as a person, and that's what keeps me going, is that I feel myself growing as a person. I feel that I am getting closer to the person that I really would like to be, and streaming and the wonderful people that I meet and interact with, and the fantastic community that I'm very lucky to have, are instrumental and key in helping me get there. I can. The ways that I've improved as a person since I started streaming, the issues that I have overcome, they're countless. I don't want to go on and on and on here, because it's not but I just can't count the amount of ways that I've improved. So for me, it's seeing who how far I can go and becoming this more outgoing, healthier minded, happier individual. I mean, and hopefully, that would also lead to eventually becoming a Twitch partner. But if it doesn't, what I've gained from Twitch, you can't put a price on it. Do you know what I mean? You really can't. So yeah, I'm just happy. So my motivation is I'm happy.
Hell yeah, man. That's awesome. Yeah, and I was actually just talking to Sam about that the other day, that like no matter what happens with streaming, like I'm gonna continue to do it because I love doing it. But it's just improved my life so much, man. It really has. But that's because like we've also put in the work to do that. It just hasn't like happened. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to say people aren't working, because like I've done this for 5 years, and like I've just recently started feeling a lot better as a person. You know what I mean? And it will take some time, but if you actually put in work, it'll work out. Sadomi, so yeah, let's change this up a little bit for you, man. What do you got on this? From your own perspective, not necessarily towards streaming.
If you say what motivates me,
yeah,
money.
Okay.
And upward momentum. Money, upward momentum. Because I like being not only extremely independent, I like being able to make changes in not only my life, but in the lives and the spaces of people around me.
Hell yeah.
The best way I can do that is through, getting more power, getting more money, and having just a easier like time of life. If I can go to a restaurant and just be like, yeah, I want that, that, and that. I'll look the prices. Just be like that. Yeah, send a drink over to those people down the road too. They look like nice people. And then also like, $100 tip. I'm good. I'm set. Because I know how much some people like struggle with not only finances but also just like balancing everything. How many people like lose so much of their life working for a company that doesn't give a single F about them.
Mm-hmm.
How many people lose like important time with their loved ones, their kids, their mothers who go back to work 8 weeks after they just popped the baby out. There are people who grew up without fathers who have, mothers who work ridiculous amounts of time and never see them. And I honestly don't wish that on anyone. I wish people could have enough time to pursue what they want to pursue, contribute to society, and enjoy the loved ones and hobbies around them in a nice, equal manner without being overwhelmed by any one thing. So my goal is to achieve that for myself and then achieve that for as many people as I can going forward.
Hell yeah, that's awesome, man. I really like that. No, and I'm glad that you were real about it. You know what I mean? Not to say that we weren't. You know what I mean? But no.
Streaming too. Like people are scared to be like, I want to make money. Like, listen,
money is definitely a motivator.
No one. There's a reason why if there's $100 bill next to your desk right now and someone put it down there, but yeah, just keep it. You'd be like, why are you giving me that? You'd be so skeptical of it. Or someone give you like a plate of like, chicken wings. Oh, thanks, man. Oh, because money has power. It has the power to change lifestyles. It has the power to change the world. We've seen it in action. America.
Oh my God.
A lot of things.
True. But yeah, Green, I hope that helped you out, man. If you have anything else on that, let us know. We got one more question I want to try to squeeze in here before the end of the show, and we do have to wrap it up, so we got to keep this one kind of quick. But Crazy Eyes says, hi guys, long time listener, first time caller here. You're not calling, and you have called plenty of times. Where did you think you would be right now 1 year ago, and where do you think you will be in a year from now? So okay, that's a good question. So where did I think I was going to be now 1 year ago? And then where do I think I'm going to be in a year? So a year ago, I thought I would have been kind of in the situation that I am now. I thought I would have had YouTube going or something like that, but there's been some crazy things that have happened in my last year that have really changed some things in my life that I don't necessarily want to get into right now. But yeah, so the last year hasn't gone the way I planned on. But that's totally okay. And I see myself in a year. I see myself hopefully doing some stand up, even if it's terrible. I think it just sounds fun. Continuing to stream. Maybe I'll be a partner by this time next year. I'll just put that out there. And if I'm not, that's totally cool. Like, it's not the goal. It's not anything close to what I want to achieve in my life. It's not, like, partner would be cool for sure, but that's not going to define whether or not I'm happy with myself. Yeah, and so I think I'll just be trying to explore new things in a year and hopefully doing some things successfully. That's what I'll say. What about you, DoggGaming?
I mean, my year's been a total disappointment. I thought I'd be Emperor of the Universe by now.
Yo,
where did I see myself in a year's time? Emperor of the Universe? No. No, I mean, I think this year's been such a, such a write-off. I honestly, by this time, I thought I would have been to TwitchCon Amsterdam. I had everything ready to go. We're literally on a go. We would have been there. I was ready to make new connections and, through streaming and stuff like that, meet people and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, this year it's been really rough on me because, like, from a personal point of view, I had got to a point where I was ready to start really tackling my agoraphobia, and then along comes something that keeps me in the house for most of the year.
Hell yeah.
So next year I would really like to travel. For the first time in my life, I would really like to travel. So where do I see myself next year? Having visited somewhere in the world, hopefully. So yeah. My aims are low because, well, we're living in unprecedented times at the moment, So, we have to like alter our plans or at least like put a little more realism on them. Like,
Hell yeah. Sadomi, how about you, man?
Great. There's no reason you should ask that question this year.
Yeah, right. Oh my god, this is a terrible year for everybody.
Where do you think you were going to be 365 days like now from last year? Literally anything else. Literally anything else. Anything else.
Oh my god.
I've been in Aruba sipping on a nice long margarita with beautiful fine honeys next to me. And that would have been more realistic than what I would have thought this would have been.
That's fair. That's totally fair.
And a year from now, I'm not jinxing it. I jinxed it last year. I'm not jinxing it again. Nah, you ain't catching me out here like that.
Totally fair. Totally fair. All right, well, crazy. I hope we were able to answer your question for you, man. Let us know if you have anything else. All right, so that's going to be it for the show. Sadomi, I think you had something you wanted to tell everybody real quick before we start wrapping up.
Yes, everyone. I do appreciate all of you coming out here today, and I hope you come by for the next show, especially because the next show will be my last show for StreamKey. So you'll get to say goodbye to his beautiful face, his beautiful beard, and you get to roast me next episode. So, it's your last chance to. Your last chance. So if you got something to say, if you got a question to ask, you got something to lay on me, come through. Next Monday, 11 a.m. Eastern. I'll see you then.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so we're definitely gonna miss Sadomi. I don't think there's anybody here that's not going to. He's been an awesome co-host. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And I still don't know who the new co-host is gonna be yet. I gotta start asking. But yeah, it's been fun, man. It's really been fun. But with that being said, dude, I just want to say thank you for being a co-host on here. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll start wrapping up. So DoggGaming, where can people find you and what can they expect when they get there, dude?
Well, I'm Dogg_gaming on Twitch and DoggGaming on every other platform, Insta, Twitter, YouTube, that kind of stuff. I am a FPS streamer, really, but we are a community stream, so that I always play with viewers and such like that. Always a lot of fun. But we're also a stream that is a mental health safe space. Because of my mental health issues, I always want to be able to offer help to people that may be in the same or similar boats as myself. So somewhere where you can come and talk about your issues as well. Obviously, we've got a Discord as well, where you'll find a lot of support, a lot of fantastic people that are there for you. So absolutely come check us out.
Hell yeah, man. Appreciate you. And then Sadomi, where can people find you and what kind of things are you doing for people right now?
So you can find me at Robert Clark SMM on Twitter, and pretty soon RobertClarkSMM.com. We're still working on a website because, time is precious. Got a lot of stuff to do, but I'll be up eventually pretty soon. And I do social media management and content management. So if you want help with your social media game, marketing, figure out, hey, where do I want to target things? Do I want more viewers? Do I want more money? Do I want more attention on what you got? Hit me up. I will help you out.
Oh yeah. Please go hit him up, my dudes. I would highly appreciate it. Everyone, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to another episode of StreamKey. We will be back next week, Monday morning, 11 a.m. EST, as always. And yeah, thanks again. Have a great one, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.